Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPENN.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 115 ahead of UFC San Antonio is live, and we're first going to be joined by Steven Peterson to preview his return fight against Lucas Alexander. Steven hasn't fought since his fight of the night against Julian Erosa last February, which obviously was a very fun fight. Split decision loss. Peterson said he learned a lot from that one, kind of knew what he needs to do more to kind of get these close decision wins his way, but really good chat with Steven as always. We're then going to be joined by Daniel Pineda, who previews his return fight against Tucker Lutz. Obviously, haven't seen Daniel in a while, hasn't fought since the Andre Fili kind of eye poke in 2021. Since then, he's obviously had the suspension, had a bit of time off, but he's really looking forward to this fight against Tucker, fighting close to home in San Antonio, which he's really pumped about. And he thinks he can really show off against Tucker and get a big stoppage win in front of his fans and really start kind of climbing up the featherweight ranks again. And then we close things out talking to Austin Lingo to preview his short notice fight against Nate Landwehr. Obviously, Austin was supposed to fight March 11th against Ricardo Ramos. He weighs in. It was obviously a big moment for Austin just because he hadn't fought since August 2021. Since then, he's dealt with a ton of injuries, which forced him out of the Jonathan Pierce and David Onama fight. Ricardo then comes in like 8 or 9 pounds overweight. The fight immediately was called off. Austin really didn't have much of a choice. And after that, the matchmakers told him that they're going to get him a fight as soon as possible. He got told to kind of stay around 45, so it's not much of a double weight cut. He is staying pretty light, and then he obviously got the call to replace Alex Caceres and fight Nate Landwehr in San Antonio, which is close to home, which he's pumped about, and he thinks a win over Nate really starts bringing some more eyeballs on him. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're joined by UFC featherweight Steven Peterson, who's finally back in action here. Steven, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How you doing, Cole?
I'm doing well. Like, obviously, been a while since we've seen you in there. Over a year. Like, what kind of has been the reason for this long of a layoff?
I don't know, man. I feel like I wanted to get back as soon as possible. I've been wanting to get back in there. I'm not sure why I got put on the shelf, but all that matters, I'm back now, and I'm ready to get back to work.
Uh, were there ever a thought of maybe going to 55 just after the two weight misses in a row, or was it always 45 for this next fight?
I had to go back to the UFC PI, get some tests run, kind of see what was going on with my body, and come up with a plan. Once I went back and got those tests, we knew that I needed to stay at 145, and it was just some I guess logistical errors that I was making with my strength and conditioning, and just overdoing it, and caused my body to kind of rebel. So I got that all figured out, and I've been working with Icon Meals, and I've been working with the nutrition team at the UFC at the UFC PI, and been working with Thorn Research and getting the right supplements and kind of taking better care of my body, and making sure that my mind and my body are in sync.
Your last fight against Julian, like one of the best fights of the year. Like, what do you take away from that? Because, like, when I talked to both you guys before the fight, I think both you guys probably were surprised about each other's durability in there.
Um, well, I knew I knew about my durability, but yeah, he was tough, man, and I thought it was a great fight. I feel like I definitely figured out what I need to do going forward to get the finish next time. I feel like if we were to have a rematch, I would be able to take him out, and definitely one that I want back. It was a really close fight, but I thought it went my way, and a lot of other people did as well. That's one as far as or as well as the Alex Caceres fight. I want both of those rematches. I want to go forward and get a couple wins, and then fight for those rematches. I think those will be good, like main event, co-main event type fights, really big fights to hype up.
And then with your opponent in Lucas Alexander, like, how familiar were you with him?
Honestly, I never heard of the kid. He's a tough Brazilian dude. I know he was coming out of the camp in Florida, like Philly Fresh's camp.
Mhm.
So, he's over there with some other characters and whatnot. I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of their flavor, a lot of their style to the fight. But I'm a no bullshit type fighter. I'm gonna go out there and get straight to work, and I'm gonna handle business.
And then returning in San Antonio, obviously not Dallas, but it's still in Texas. Like, how exciting is that for you to be fighting in Texas?
Honestly, I didn't want to fight in Texas again, but you put me on the shelf for a year, and I'm gonna take the first opportunity I get. So, uh, it will be a good hometown crowd for me. I feel like it's a great fight for me to go out there, not let it go to the judges' scorecards, handle business, and show out for my hometown crowd. So, look forward to seeing a lot of new Ocho jerseys in the crowd, and yeah, things are gonna get wild out there. We're gonna bring the house down.
Why didn't you want to fight in Texas?
I've had some discrepancies with the commission in the past. I felt like I got robbed quite a few times early in my career, but especially the Alex Caceres fight, I really thought that it should have gone my way. And yeah, I had vowed to never fight in Texas again, and then things changed over time, COVID, and the whole economy shutting down and whatnot. It's tough times out there, so I'm gonna fight wherever I'm able to, and I'm happy I'm able to get back in there and do what I love, and I feel like I'm able to turn a new leaf with the Texas Commission and kind of right some wrongs, and hopefully in the future maybe main event a card here in Dallas.
And then does it make it fight week a bit more fun now that Austin's on the card? Like it was just you out of Fortis, and now obviously Austin got put on just recently.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more fun. He's fighting Nate Landwehr. I really want to. I want to fight Nate Landwehr. Really, I think it's really cool that one of my teammates gets to fight him first, and I'm really confident in Austin. It sucks. I was out there in Vegas with him. He made weight, and his opponent missed weight by 9 pounds, so they had to scrap that fight. But everything happens for a reason, and now me and him get to rally here in Austin or in San Antonio. So uh, yeah, I look forward to having Austin Lingo on the card with me, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun week.
I talked to Austin. I just kind of want to put it out there again. Like that fight not happening wasn't because of him. Like everything he said to me was he wanted to fight, and it was more the commission after 9 pounds doesn't let the fight get cleared.
Yeah, 9 pounds is too much. You're in the next weight class up. So I think if we were, light heavyweights or middleweights, then something like that might be able to fly. But definitely, I'd say like 5 pounds, 6 pounds is probably about as far as the commission will allow.
So obviously you were working with Austin before his fight. So like, who else are you working with? Like a lot of good bantamweights, featherweights at Fortis.
Yeah, we got a ton like Stephen Wynn, Fernie Garcia, Damon Jackson. Shoot, you name them. We got a ton, and especially these young cats coming up that nobody knows about. So you can look forward to guys like that coming up. They've been kind of my main training partners. Uh, like Charles Woods, this kid, he doesn't even think he wants to fight, but I know he wants to fight. He was one of my top students. Now he's become a great training partner for me as well. So yeah, Ian Enbrock. Uh, yeah, the list goes on and on. So yeah, we got a plethora of talented, tall kids in my camp. So they're able to really emulate my opponent pretty nicely.
With Lucas, like he just has the one UFC fight, like ended fairly quickly, didn't show a whole lot. So like, is it hard to really prepare for him just because we haven't seen a whole lot from him so far in the UFC?
He's definitely gonna be unpredictable. I've done my homework. Yeah, I've seen what he brings to the table, but it's nothing I haven't seen before. I've fought all types of fighters. I've been fighting for 15 years, so I don't think he's gonna bring anything to the table that I haven't seen before. It's just a matter of me being consistent and going out there and doing what I'm supposed to do.
Do you worry about ring rust or anything just with the time off?
No, man. No, I'm a fighter through and through. Ring rust is not gonna be a factor. I'm in the gym all the time, man. It's one thing if like you take time off like and you don't train and then you try to jump right back in, but for me it's like riding a bike. I've been doing this my whole life. it's just going in there and being in the moment, going in there and enjoying it, soaking it in. So, I don't see that being a factor. I think I'm gonna get right back to where I left off.
I guess you had the layoff too going into the Chase fight, and that was obviously a pretty dominant performance for you.
Yeah, it gives me time to kind of prioritize and get other things in my life in order, and then in the meantime, I'm always training. We always got somebody at a Fortis with a fight, and it's my full time job. I'm always in the gym, so I'm always around it. So it's comfortable for me.
And then back in front of fans too. How exciting is that? Just because that Apex fight with Julian just kind of was so weird with your style, like should always kind of be in front of fans.
Yeah, man, I felt like I got robbed of my I don't. It's not necessarily glory, but just the energy of the crowd. Uh, in those moments, I feel like the crowd would have set a fight off like that, like something crazier would have happened if there would have been a full crowd because we had like
Mm.
50 people there and the whole building was electric. People were losing their fucking minds. So when I get a full crowd and especially having the Texas crowd there in San Antonio, it's going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait to feel that energy in the room again.
Uh, Everyone kind of knows what you fight. Aggressive, always entertaining. Like, how do you kind of see this one playing out?
I think I'm gonna take him out in the first round, man. I know I always plan on that. It's always like my mentality. But I'm prepared to go all 3 rounds. I'm prepared for whatever he brings to the table. But I want to go out there. I want to get straight to work. I want to handle business as quickly as possible, and then I want to get back in there again before summertime.
Do you think people kind of forget you were like this grappler guy coming up and like everyone just kind of views you as a striker now? But I feel like that's always kind of in your back pocket is the wrestling and grappling.
Yeah, it's like people have a short memory in MMA, and they see whatever I choose to show them. So I've been showing striking a lot more in my past few fights, and I always got that in the back pocket. No matter where the fight goes, I'm comfortable. And this fight's gonna go where I want it to go.
You get past Lucas, like where do you think that puts you in the division? Like you're kind of a guy that's always getting these exciting matchups and kind of well-known guys.
Yeah, I think I belong right in the top 20, right around there. Obviously, that's not where I'm ranked, but look at the guys that I fought, and you look at how they've done, and Alex Caceres is right there. I believe he's like number 15, somewhere
Mm.
around there. Julian Rosa was right there as well before he lost to Caceres. I feel like either get one of those fights back or get another win, and then I should be on a 3 fight win streak in my opinion. If that decision would have went my way in that last fight with Rosa, I'd be on a 3 fight win streak, and this would be looking for 4. So uh, I'm just gonna go view that as a win in my opinion, and I'm on a 3 fight win streak, so this one will make it 4. That'll put me right where I belong. I should get a co-main event or a main event on one of these fight nights, and be able to show that I can sell fucking tickets, I can put asses in the seats, and I can bring fans to the sport.
I actually think it could be four because I think the Caceres fight was the one before that, and I think you won that one too.
Yeah, yeah, no, that would be 4 straight up. So like these fights that are really close, people forget. They just look at the wins and losses, but they don't understand. Some of these losses on my record are the opinion of 1 or 2 judges that could have swayed the other way and very well been a win in my book. So yeah, I feel like I've never really been defeated.
Does that put any pressure on you? Like looking at how many close fights you lose, of like maybe let's not trust these judges anymore.
Yeah, I never trusted the judges, but that's the whole goal is you don't want to go out there and expect a judge to give you a decision. You got to go out there and try to finish the fight, and that's what we're supposed to do. Some fighters have used that against me and kind of uh, olayed the bull, but I've turned into more of a matador these days, and I've learned how to really fight a smart, cerebral fight uh, while still pushing the action. So I feel like, especially taking this time over the past year to be able to develop those skills, I'm going to be able to show that if if by any means I'm not able to get an opponent out there, it's going to look a lot cleaner. It's not going to be just all gas. It's going to be a lot more finesse in there.
Uh, just two more things, like pretty good card for the San Antonio fans, especially that main event. But are you like, what's it like for you to be a part of this card? Then again, like, are you kind of surprised there's not more of you guys from Fortis on this card?
Definitely surprised there's not more Fortis guys on the card. We like to show out when we come to Texas. I feel like the Dallas cards, they do the same thing. They put a lot of guys, like international guys, on these cards, which it shows the UFC's power, right?
Mhm.
Because they're able to, fill out these arenas regardless if they put local guys on or not. But it kind of it robs the fans of the sport or of the area. Uh, they don't even know how many fucking UFC fighters there are in Dallas. Like we got 20 at Fortis MMA alone, not to mention all the other gyms that we're in competition with. So if they were to really put the local guys on the card, I feel like it would build the scene, the martial arts scene, and just the UFC name here in Dallas even more because like this is really a strong hub of high level fighters here in Dallas. So uh, yeah, hopefully they come here later this year and really put the Texas talent on showcase.
Just final thing, like, what is kind of the goal then for you this year? Like, I imagine it's get past this one, kind of fight pretty often after the past year.
Yeah, I want to get right back, hit the ground running. I obviously want to win this fight. I want to go 3-0 in 2023 and crack the top 15.
Well, Steven, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, my pleasure, Cole. Appreciate you having me on, brother.
All right, we're joined by UFC featherweight Daniel Pineda, who's finally back in action here. Daniel, how's it going, man?
Doing awesome, man. Doing awesome. Excited to be back.
Yeah, obviously you had the suspension. I know you were able to come back in March of last year. So, like, what kind of was the reason for this extra long of a layoff then?
Just a little, being hurt there and there. Can't really say from where, but got a little injury going on. But PI took care of me.
Was that difficult for you to be sitting on the sidelines for so long, especially after that Feely loss, or not the loss, sorry, how the fight kind of went, and just kind of having to sit on that for so long?
Well, yeah, we were supposed to run it right back. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to run it right back, but then they ended up saying that because I'm prescribed Adderall. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So then they're like, oh, I took Adderall. It was what, I think 5 days before the fight. So that's why I got suspended. So whatever.
Uh, when I spoke to Kevin Lee, he said the same thing. He got suspended too for Adderall use, which he doesn't understand why, just because it is a prescribed thing. Like, how kind of frustrating was that for you then, getting suspended for something your doctor prescribes you?
Well, the crazy thing about it is that we told the commission before I even weighed in. So before we even weighed in, I told him, I was like, hey, man, because they asked anything I've taken. I was like, well, I took Adderall like it was Monday, And I was like, so even my manager, Jason's like, hey, is it okay if we still fight? We took this. They're like, yeah, it should be out of your system. And I guess it probably didn't even come out of my system, man. 5 days, it's not in your system no more. They just, because I told them and I got fucked.
And then once you are able to return, like, when were you fully ready? Like, you're fighting end of March. Like, was it about the time frame you were looking at, or are you hoping to get in there a bit sooner?
Well, I was supposed to fight.
Yeah,
Also, when was I supposed to fight? I was supposed to fight. Was it pretty much,
Jamal. You're supposed to your book Jamal Emmers like what, last May, something like that.
yes, it was in May, and then that's when I hurt
Mhm.
myself, and so I took some time off, and yeah, and so I mean, I got hurt, and it took like 7, 8, 9 months for me to get better. But I feel better, and it was at a perfect time, man. San Antonio, right in my backyard.
Yeah, like fighting in front of fans too in Texas. Like, how kind of excited were you when you got the call it would be in Texas in front of fans?
Well, just think about this. I haven't fought close to my hometown, and I mean, I've never fought for the UFC close to my hometown.
Mhm.
My first one actually fighting close, not at home, but we're close enough. It's 2.5 hours away from here. So man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have fans. All my peoples from Houston, they're gonna come through, and it's gonna be awesome.
How much easier does that kind of make fight week and everything? Like where you can kind of stay close to home, like you kind of know everything, like you don't got to leave the state or anything like that.
Yeah, I still gotta travel. You're right. It's
Yeah.
still gotta be there Tuesday, and I gotta do everything, media and everything. But just knowing that I'm not gonna have all my family and friends out there in the stand, that's what makes me freaking flip out, and that's what makes me want to fight.
You haven't experienced the fans in that UFC yet. It's like, what do you think that walkout is going to be like for you, especially back in Texas?
Oh man, they better not make me the first fight while I'm a full hip out. So no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited, just like I said, to have everybody back. Just have everybody from home come to the fight. You know.
And that pop is going to be insane when Buffer announces you fighting from Texas. Like that crowd's going to go insane when you're in there.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for this. It was a perfect fight. It's a good fight.
And Tucker Lutz, like, were you surprised this was the guy, or did you kind of not care who it was?
I mean, I didn't care who it was. I'm used to fighting freaking top 15, everybody that I fought is in the top, so this guy's very tough. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight for me to come back with. And he's a tough guy, man. He's a good wrestler. He's a good striker. And, man, we should have a good fight, and this time with a good weight cut and everything. So it's going to be awesome.
Were you hoping that return fight could be against Feely?
I was hoping Philly or Cub.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I fought Cub, man, it was one of my worst cuts ever. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad cut. Like I said, I mean, I would like to have Philly or Cub on my next one.
And then Tucker's coming off a pretty long layoff too, like hasn't fought since November 2021. So like, is that kind of a relief too, where both you guys are coming off layoffs and like you don't have to worry if ring rust might be there because he might have it as well?
Man, I don't think he's gonna have no ring rust or me, man. I think we're good. We stay in the gym. I'm pretty sure he trains hard every freaking day, and that's the same thing I do. I train with all these guys over here getting ready for fights, so it's like a fight every day at this gym, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my black eye. So yeah, so I think we'll be good, man. I think we're gonna have a good fight, and I think it's gonna be a quick fight or it's gonna be a fight of the night.
What have you made of Tucker's UFC run? Like just 2 fights, looked very good in that debut, and then obviously took on Pat Sabatini, who's a tough out kind of for anyone.
Yeah, man, that guy's good in the ground, and when he beat homeboy from Dallas, I was like, oh wow, he's good. I mean, the guy, he likes to bring it. The guy from Dallas, he really likes to bring it, and that's why, man, it's a tough fight.
He likes using his wrestling. Like, are you expecting him to shoot pretty early against you?
I don't think he's gonna shoot in, but he might. You never know. I don't know. I think he has good wrestling, right? But I got good wrestling. I don't know if he's gonna want to go to the ground with me.
Is it the same kind of people you're working with, or are you bringing anyone for this one, or is it just the same people?
Pretty much the same people, man. Just getting a couple bigger people in here, like Rafa. He fights next weekend in Vegas, so that's a big part of this camp. That someone's big, and having somebody that big right there, hard to take him down, hard to get up from him, and I mean he's good. He's pushing me.
And it's like UFC, like I see it all the time, where it's kind of like a sport. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Especially with UFC having events all the time that like fans kind of forget about people. Like, is there any thought of just kind of reminding everyone of how good you are and how like you are kind of right near that top 15 in this fight?
Yeah, man. Pretty much they'll freaking come that the 25th of March. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna remember again. Because when I fight, I go in there to finish, as you can tell, I'll finish. So I don't go in there to try to hump somebody and wrestle. I would say the word, I don't know if I'm allowed, but
yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I'm not there to wrestle fuck nobody. So I go in there to fight, and that's what they're gonna get from me. We're gonna go in there and fight. There ain't gonna be no humping around.
Is there extra motivation fighting in Texas too? Like trying to get that win in your home state and for your people all in the crowd?
It's a big motivation. First of all, because it's the last fight of my contract, and second of all, it's I'm in Texas. I'm at home. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to do this a lot, and I got a rep for the boys.
Do you think could be do or die then? Like you lose if it is it for you in the UFC then? Like are you kind of putting that pressure on yourself?
Yeah, I'm taking a gamble. We'll see what happens. You know, I win, we want more money.
Was there any ever thought of talking about a re-signing before this fight so you didn't enter your last fight with no more fights after this?
Nah.
Nah.
I'm a gambler, man. I'm a gambling man. So, how's it going, brother?
With this one against Tucker, like how do you kind of see it playing out? You mentioned a couple times you either think it's going to end early or it's going to be the fight of the night. Like how do you kind of see it playing out?
Well, for sure, it's not going to go to decision.
Yeah.
I think this is going to get finished first or second round. We both. He's more of a counter fighter, right? So I don't know. I come forward all the time. So no matter what, I'm gonna be in his face. He knows it because every fight that I have, I've always come forward. So I think it ain't gonna be no decision for sure.
Do you think that pressure can break him where like he may not be used to fighting someone like your kind of style where you're always in that guy's face and not letting them like even catch their breath for a moment?
I don't think a lot of people are used to that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you pop in my ass, if you fucking punch me in the face, I'm still gonna come forward. You know, that Mexican style. You know, we're gonna keep just coming forward. You know, you can unless you knock me the fuck out, that's the only way you're gonna stop me. So
you get your hand raised here. Like, is it then just, especially if you get a highly real finish or something, I imagine it's getting more money from the UFC and re-signing, or are you open to like going to free agency, kind of seeing what's out there?
man, I like the UFC, man. They take care of you, you know. I mean, once this fight's over, then, you know, I do get my hand raised, you know. We'll talk to my manager, talk to everybody, get a little bit more money and keep going.
Where do you think this win puts you? Because like, even though Tucker isn't like on that profile of Felian Cub, like you've kind of shown that you kind of belong right near that top 15.
Man, like I said, hopefully, you know, if everything goes right, you know, I don't want to knock on some wood, you know, everything goes good. And I'm just, you know, like I said, keep aiming for the top, you know, keep aiming for a top 15 guy and just keep going, man. You know, like I said, I don't say no to nobody. Anybody that offer me, I'm going to fight. So I'm not a picky fighter.
Final thing, like what is kind of the goal then for you this year? I imagine it's be as active as possible, kind of make up for the lost time.
Yeah, man, I want to get at least. I would love for them to come to Houston. Once they fight in Houston, put me back in the Houston card. You know what I'm saying? Back at home. But whatever, man. I love Vegas, you know, but don't put me at the Apex. Put me at the T-Mobile Arena or something, you know. I want to have fans here, man. I'm tired of fighting close up, you know. I want to be able to fight with fans. That's what
and your style is like a style that should be in front of fans compared to some other guys they put at like in the arena shows.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, it's like, you know, fans love the way I fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be bloodied up, or they're gonna be bloodied up, or I'm gonna finish it like that. It's one of those two, you know. But I'm open forward, so I need fans. They push me. You know what I'm saying? Me hearing the crowd booing or fucking cheering, that fucking gets me going. So,
well, Daniel, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this again.
hey, thanks, bud. Thanks for having me, man. We'll see you on March 25th.
All right, we're joined by UFC featherweight Austin Lingo, who's back and actually UFC San Antonio now. Austin, how's it going, man?
Good.
Obviously, he's supposed to fight Ricardo Ramos March 11th. Like, when did you kind of get word, or did you at all, that he might come in heavy?
Man, I didn't even know. Yeah, I was at weigh-ins, and my coach kind of just walked up to me, and he was like, "Ricardo just weighed in. He's 8 pounds over." And I was just like, "Dang!" I mean, I was like, "I'll fight him if he can make 50." You know, I was like, "I'll do a catch weight," or you know. And then my coach was like, "I don't know," he just didn't want me to take it. And he was saying like, "That's way too heavy," you know. So.
And then when that happened, like, what's kind of going through your head? Because it's obviously been a long time for you. Like we talked before that fight, just kind of about all the injuries and like finally being able to get there, and then the fight's off because your opponent misses weight. Like, what's kind of running through your head?
Man, it was bad. I was just like, what? No way. And uh, you know, knowing Ricardo didn't make, like, he had like an injury or something, he couldn't make weight. I was like, well, that's, I mean, you know, that sucks for him, and I hope he gets better, but still, it's like I don't get the fight.
Mhm.
I was mad, man. It was upsetting.
Oh, were you worried about like pay as well? Because obviously, like you only make money when you fight. So that's obviously another like you don't really know when you're going to rebook. So it could be another couple months without getting paid.
Yeah, yeah, I was definitely worried about, man. I was like, crap, like what am I gonna do about you know work and but I do private trainings and stuff,
Mhm.
but still, like that paycheck is a lot of my year. So
Did you talk to anyone at the UFC about like what's kind of next? Did they tell you they try to get you rebooked quickly?
yeah, yeah. My coach and the matchmaker, they all kind of, and then the matchmaker was telling me that, sorry, and that he'll get me another fight soon. So I was just like, all right, cool. I'll fight, whoever, whenever. He was like, do you want it soon? I was like, yeah. Hey, I'll stay at weight, whatever.
And then you find out Nate's opponent's out. Caceres is out for the San Antonio card. Like, did you ask them to get this fight, or did they come to you then when Alex fell out?
Yeah, they came to me, and I knew it was Nate Landwehr, and I was just like, yeah, heck yeah, that's a good fight for me. And he's a stand-up fighter. I'm a stand-up fighter, so I was pretty excited.
Do you worry about the back-to-back weight cuts at all?
No, I mean, I stayed at weight.
Mhm.
I stayed pretty far down, so I'm still around 145, but I'm 12 pounds out. So yeah, it just sucks having to stay here for 2 weeks. So I was just like, still eating 2-3 meals a day that are like real light, salads and stuff. So that always sucks.
Yeah, not enjoying some weekends, drinking or anything, having some pizza or anything. Like, uh,
Nothing.
imagine that sucks, especially after like you're probably planning some stuff after that last fight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had some food in mind, and then I'm sitting there eating, like, just like after the fight, or after I found out that he didn't make weight. I'm sitting there eating like a hamburger, and I'm just like, and then my coach called me, and he was just like, "Yo, you're fighting 2 weeks," and I was just like, I wasted it on a hamburger, man. I was mad, man. I was like, oh man, I could have ate anything else, like, for my first time. Then, oh man,
Uh, is a bit of a positive is that it is fighting in Texas and obviously close to home in San Antonio.
yeah, I love fighting in Texas. It's home state.
With Nate, like very fun fighter. Like, so how kind of happy were you when you found out you'd be fighting him? Because on paper, this seems like a very fun matchup.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was super happy when I found out I was fighting Nate, because he's just, you know he's got that personality in the ring. He's fun. He's, he doesn't talk crap. He's just more of like a showboat kind of crowd person. He gets the crowd going. He, he's just a real cool fighter. So
What has like training been like? Did you have to take a bit of time off to like, because obviously you ramped up a lot for March 11th, or do you just kind of continue that for these next 2 weeks?
yeah, I just continued. I got back in the gym, just kept doing cardio. I pushed some rounds, yeah, for a camp, the first week, and then this week I've just kind of been coasting, weight cutting, cardio, everything still. So
And then with this, like obviously Steven is also on the card with you. Like, how kind of nice is that to have Ocho there? Because I know you guys train a lot together, and just probably makes fight week a bit more enjoyable.
yeah, yeah, having somebody there is always cool. Ryan Spann, it was cool having him there. So
Mhm.
I think Ocho, yeah, or Steven, he'll be real cool to have there, because just he's my weight class, and he just he's my weight. I don't know, we chop it up a lot. So
It's a good like fight week body, I guess, too, where you guys can work with each
Yeah,
other, especially because he is very similar style to Nate and just kind of likes to brawl a bit.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
With this one, like, how do you think you match up against Nate?
With Nate,
Yeah.
I see him as he's a good striker. You know, I'm a good striker. We both hit hard. He he throws a little bit more, but I weave a little bit more. So I see it. You know, I see it's a good matchup though. I think it's great. You know, I don't want to say any game plans or nothing yet.
Do you think he might wrestle you if you start landing on him?
Definitely. I mean, yeah. He'll definitely clinch up. He'll try to throw his knees, try to throw his big elbows. So we're definitely watching. I'm definitely been training for that. So
The way Nate fights, like he is pretty durable. Like other than Arosa and Herbert Burns, that kind of just caught him early. Like even in that Onama fight, took a lot of shots, and he kind of like brings people into these like brawls. Like, how do you kind of see it playing out? Because it seems like he's the kind of guy that wants to like not make it very tactical and just kind of slug it out.
yeah, I mean, I see us getting to a firefight. Maybe it's like it's gonna be like a long distance race. You know, it's like we're gonna start in the sprint, and then we just got a few more laps. You know, and it's like it's gonna be just a firefight. You know, the whole time. I mean, I'm gonna be on my toes, so watching out for his right hand, watching out for his elbows. So I think it's gonna be a great striking match.
Fighting in front of fans too. Like obviously the March 11th was supposed to be fans, not as much as obviously the arena in San Antonio. But now being in San Antonio, home, it's sort of like a home state fight, I guess. Like, does that just kind of add some excitement to the fight? Is like, and you can kind of feed off that energy.
Yeah, I mean, I love having a big crowd, like and just I know Nate's gonna get them going too. So yeah, so it's gonna be awesome.
Have you and Steven kind of talked about this matchup? Because whenever I talk to him, like Nate's been a guy he's wanted to fight for a long time. I know he's kind of like studied him as well. So like, did he give you any pointers?
Yeah, Steven, he gave me a bunch of pointers, and he was just like, man, he's gonna come hard, you know. He's not gonna gas either. I was just like, yeah, I know, I don't gas, you know.
LFA run, like all these first round finishes, like a UFC, like both your wins decision. Like, is that a bit frustrating for you, or like, is there a bit of like a pressure to get that first UFC finish?
Definitely, definitely. There's always that, because I got them all in the amateur days and the pro day, or in the LFA, and it was just like I hit these guys that hard, and they're just not going down in the UFC. I'm like, man, these guys got some hard heads, but so do I. So I'm like, just got to cut that angle, got to do something different.
And this is your fourth fight in the UFC. Like, I know most contracts run 4 fights. Like, I imagine you've probably re-signed before this one, or are you fighting out your deal?
Yeah, I re-signed. This is a new contract. Yep.
Did you re-sign when you took this fight then?
No, I re-signed when I had the last fight.
Okay.
And, yeah, this is just another fight on that one.
Then just final thing, like you out there and beat Nate, like where do you think that kind of puts you in the division? Like what kind of is the goal then for this year?
Man, I think it'll put me up there. It'll put me. I know he's number 28, so I'm trying to break the top 20, and then maybe by the end of the year, top 15. So.
Yeah, because especially Nate was booked against Caceres, who I think is 14 or 15. So obviously they rate him pretty highly. Then if they're giving him a rank guy.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Well, Austin, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.